Now, I have to confess this right at the beginning. The title of this video is a huge exaggeration. Yes, your comfort zone is like a prison. And yes, if you stay there too long, it will eventually lock you in. But it's not a bad thing. What if your comfort zone is actually a good thing? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So let's dive in. These are the things that we like doing and are good at. You become complacent and satisfied with what you have. You don't take risks or try new things. And eventually you start to regret it. You look back and wonder what could have been. You realize that you settled for less than you were capable of achieving. So here's the deal. Your comfort zone is like a prison. You'll become trapped by your own fears and limitations. You need to be able to step out of your comfort zone, often enough that you continue to grow and learn, but not so often that you exhaust yourself and burn out. On the other hand, if you step out of your comfort zone for too long, you'll feel vulnerable and insecure. Maybe you spoke up in a group meeting, or you tried out for a sports team, or you went on a blind date. How did you feel afterwards? Were you proud of yourself for having stepped outside of your comfort zone? Or were you exhausted and burnt out by the experience? You'll be struggling to cope, and you won't feel confident or capable. When you achieve a goal, no matter how small, celebrate it. He had a comfortable life, a good job, and he was well liked in the community. But he always felt like there was more to life than this. As he began to step outside of his comfort zone, he felt a sense of freedom and excitement that he had never felt before. He wanted to travel the world and see all that it had to offer. But his fear of the unknown kept him from taking any action. Be proud of yourself for having stepped outside of your comfort zone and accomplished something that you didn't think you could do. But he also knew that the world was full of beauty and adventure, and that he didn't want to waste his life away in a prison of his own making. This really resonated with him. He realized that he had been letting his comfort zone dictate his life for far too long. He decided that it was time for a change. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and start exploring the world. Try new things, meet new people, and challenge yourself. You never know what you might discover. It's a place where you feel safe and secure, but it's also a place where you're limited and restricted. And what was the outcome? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. They're the things that make us feel confident and capable, but staying in your comfort zone for too long can be a bad thing. He traveled to other countries and continents. He learned new languages and experienced different cultures. Through it all, he never lost sight of the wisdom that the old man had shared with him. He never regretted stepping out of his comfort zone and following his dreams. This is how you grow, and this is how you discover your true potential. If you felt proud and accomplished, then it's likely that you were just outside of your comfort zone. Firstly, you need to identify what your comfort zone is. It's a place where you feel safe and secure. But it's also a place where you're limited and restricted. If you stay in your comfort zone for too long, it will eventually lock you in. You'll become trapped by your own fears and limitations. It just means that you need to push yourself a little bit beyond your comfort zone. For example, if you're someone who likes to stay in on weekends, then maybe you could go out for dinner with friends once in a while. If you're someone who works a 9-to-5 job, then maybe you could start freelancing in the evenings or on weekends. What are the things that you like doing and are good at? What makes you feel confident and capable? Don't try to do too much too soon. Start with small challenges and gradually work your way up. For example, if you want to start going to the gym, then don't try to work out for an hour every day. Start with just 10 minutes and gradually build up from there. Once you know what your comfort zone is, you need to find ways to challenge yourself outside of it. You challenged yourself but didn't go too far. On the other hand, if you felt exhausted and drained, then you likely went too far outside of your comfort zone. You need to find the right balance. It can limit your growth and prevent you from reaching your full potential. In fact, it's one of the best things that can happen to you. So stick around to find out why. You see, most people talk about the importance of stepping out of your comfort zone, but they forget to mention what happens when you do. We all have our own comfort zones, those things that make us feel safe and secure. When you stay in your comfort zone for too long, you stop learning and growing. So it's important to step out of your comfort zone every once in a while. Try new things, take risks, and challenge yourself. But what most people do realize is that there is such a thing as stepping out of your comfort zone for too long. When you stay outside of your comfort zone for too long, you lose your sense of security. You feel vulnerable and anxious, you struggle to cope, and you suffer from a lack of confidence. And so what happens is that you end up retreating back into your comfort zone because it feels safe and secure compared to being out here in the unknown. If you stay in your comfort zone for too long, it will eventually lock you in. The key is to find the right balance. Think about a time when you did something that was outside of your comfort zone. It's important to reflect on experiences like these in order to learn from them. Here's how to do it. This doesn't mean that you need to completely change who you are or what you do. Once you've found some ways to challenge yourself outside of your comfort zone, you need to set realistic goals for yourself. Finally, you need to reward yourself for your accomplishment. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who lived in a small village. One day, he met a wise old man who told him, "Your comfort zone is a beautiful prison. Step out before it locks you in forever." He started small, taking day trips to nearby towns and cities. He explored the countryside and hiked up mountains. As time went on, he became more and more adventurous. He knew that the comfort zone was a beautiful prison, and that it would always be there waiting for him if he ever wanted to return. In the end, he lived a long and happy life, filled with adventure, excitement, and accomplishment. You see, the comfort zone is like a prison, but if you're able to step outside of your comfort zone and challenge yourself, then you will be able to break free from the prison and live a life that you're really excited about. You may even discover that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. So what's the biggest risk you've ever taken?